Hi, here I am, Kim Hunter again, the YouTube borderliner that tries to explain how the best I can to everybody what they've been going through and what they're going through and how much better things can get. I have an emotional support cat. She doesn't know it though. This is Sweet Potato. She helps me get along a lot better in life too. But she also thinks it's nice to bite people. So the things that I've learned so far is that I stutter from my videos. I realize that I stutter a lot when I'm nervous or angry. And it shows up a lot more in these videos, but I'm going to get better at trying to fix those things. Mostly what matters is the content. Guess what I did? I got ADHD medicine. That was big for me because I've always had trouble calling doctor's appointments and getting transportation there and making it to the appointments, remembering the appointments. And I went and I got ADHD medicine. I am 100% positive that I've had this my entire life. I have two sons that have ADHD, and I've been studying psychology for a long time. And I already knew that I have it. I've had the symptoms and struggles and everything that goes along with it. And it's only been like 2 days I've been taking it, but I'm expecting good things. And I also got migraine medicine. The brain injury that I got from domestic violence, and it created a lot of different issues in my life that I didn't know that's why I had them for a long time, because I didn't anything. I didn't like go to the doctor or therapy and ask about the certain problems that I had in my life. So now that I'm learning more and I'm finding out more about it, I'm getting other areas of illness and injury in myself treated too. I have seizure medicine, migraine medicine, now ADHD medicine, depression medicine, mood stabilizer. If you have borderline personality disorder, I cannot stress enough how much a mood stabilizer is helpful in your life. And anxiety and sleeping at night. Sometimes I need a lot of help sleeping at night because I've just had so much trauma that if I can get to sleep, then I have bad dreams. And then if I can't get to sleep, I just lay there all night thinking what a piece of crap I am. I'm like, why did you do this in second grade? This was so rude. And I don't know if that's just borderliners that do that or it goes along with different struggles that people have. But low self-worth is a lot of the problem with it because your mind just tells you that everything's your fault and everybody hates you. Part of that comes from the people that raised you or were around you growing up because they didn't. This is just a headband back here. Let me make sure I don't think my underwear hanging up on the back of my couch. So, a lot of people just were treated like they didn't matter, like there was something wrong with them, and they were just so gross, and that's why they got treated bad. And that's what happened to me. I mean, I got really treated bad. My mom used to make me sleep outside because I was too disgusting to come in the house, and she wouldn't let me wear makeup. And I was over 15, but my sister got to wear it, but she wouldn't let me wear it. And she just made me dress in like some pink polyester pants with the line down the front. And this was in the 80s, and some old sandals that squeaked real loud whenever I walked. And my sister could dress up and look cute and she could have stuff, but I couldn't because I was the bad kid. I wasn't allowed to have anything in my room except for a bed and a dresser. And I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. And I had to just wear whatever she told me to wear. I got so used to it that I didn't even think there was anything weird about it. I never even asked, why can't I wear makeup? But she can. And a lot of that narcissists are jealous of their kids. Looking back, I can see that a lot. I don't know if all the people that will see this have had neglectful and abusive childhoods, but I know that lays a lot of groundwork for psychological struggles later in life. You have to really work hard to get that out of your mind. And I did something in 2008, 2009. It was called exposure or extinction. And that really changed my life a lot too. But you really have to do that with a therapist working with you because there's so much trauma that you dig up and it's really hard to deal with. They have you sometimes just tell your whole life of traumas and keep saying it over and over again of each thing that you went to that was hard until, like when you tell a joke, it's funny, and then but if you keep telling it over and over again, it's not funny anymore because everybody's just so numb to it now. Well, it's kind of like that. You keep telling all the things that happen to you over and over in life until they don't bother you anymore. And that helped a lot. I did it where I wasn't able to talk with anybody to do all that, but I did write everything down, which is part of how my book started. Was after that I wrote down every single thing that I'd been through, and it was a lot. I had child abuse and domestic violence in my home, and then when I grew up, I had to follow the stereotypical path to marry an abusive person myself, and then I got caught up in substance abuse and alcoholism, and then I lost my daughter and my sister and my dad and my husband, just one thing after another. I kept losing all these people, and it's a miracle that I'm even able to talk at all, even with all the stuttering, all the stuff that I've went through. But my mind has healed so much that I'm very open to talking about all these things that I went through, because I know it shows other people that they can make it too. And I haven't looked I haven't looked a whole lot into all the different aspects of borderline personality disorder yet, but I have been studying it quite a bit, and I think it'll be interesting to treat somebody that has that. I've never had a therapist that knew what it felt like. My mom was also a paranoid schizophrenic, and she used to come in my room and do checks in the middle of the night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and look through everything I had to see if I had anything in there I wasn't supposed to have. I think she found a bowl of cereal once. That was it. And that created a lot of stress on me when sleeping, and privacy. I don't like people. It really gave me a big trauma, a big phobia about people going through my things, or not respecting boundaries. I used to not have any boundaries. I couldn't stand to tell people, I don't want you to do that, because I didn't think it mattered what I wanted them to do. But now I do. Now I have boundaries, and if you violate one of those, you're going to get kicked to the curb, because this is my space. I pay for it, and I've worked hard to get here. I'm working on the second book now, and I think I said in one of the other videos, it's called Nobody's Daughter by Angel Novak. That was the pseudonym I used for the author, and I wrote that all the way up till right before I went to college again in 2013. So I wasn't saved yet. I hadn't had hardly any therapy that I stuck to long enough. I'd go for a couple of weeks, and then I'd move and would come back for like 2 years, and I'd go there for a couple times in a different place that I moved to, and then I'd move again. I've moved a lot. So I didn't get any help from that, except for the one lady telling me that I needed to learn emotion regulation, which I'll put in the chat here too, some things about that, just so you can look at them and realize how many different emotions that there are. Everything's not just anger or sadness or anything. There's so many different emotions that if we just identify those as things go on throughout the day, and you identify, I was scared, I wasn't mad, I was disappointed, I was jealous. There's so many different things that come out in emotions that aren't even related to what we do, and that confuses other people around us too, because they don't know what it is. Why are you mad? Well, because I missed you and I'm sad. There's just so much stuff that doesn't make any sense to regular people. It doesn't make any sense to us, but the more we could learn to walk together and read together and learn together and live together, then you'll find out that when you get in your 30s and 40s and stuff like that, the symptoms will start going away. They'll get easier. And then if you really participate in learning how to live, a positive health path with the BPD, you can do the things that you need to do, like medication and counseling and some self-help things that get you out of a mood and stuff, and get you to where you try to go out and do things. And eventually, because I was in bed for 3 years. I had an accident. I drove a SUV through a building in Missouri, and everybody thinks that I had a seizure while I was driving, but I didn't. I was trying to unalive myself, and I drove into a house, And I was really hurt from head to toe, but I could have got up and done things, but I didn't. I stayed in bed for 3 years and just sat there depressed and ate and depressed and ate and was still drinking really bad. And then I met somebody that taught me how to ride the bus, how to get to places where I need to go because the seizures, I can't drive. My license might have been suspended back then still. I don't remember, but it's not now. It's just the seizures. They don't want me to drive. And he taught me how to get the bus and the Metrolink and everywhere, all over St. Louis. I could take myself to go get medicine, take myself to the doctor, to the grocery store. This was huge when I first started getting on the bus. And I've gotten on the wrong buses. I've gotten on the wrong train. The anxiety when I get out trying to do something new at first, it's just dramatic. When I got on that wrong train, I was horrified. They had to stop the train midway with the other train and take me off this train and put me on the other train because we realized I was on the wrong train. And the one guy on the first train, he was kind of mean to me. And then the other one, he was real nice, brought me onto the right train. And I just sat in there and I cried. I felt so stupid, just so dumb and so useless. And naturally, my friends and family got a good chuckle out of it because a lot of them just see my mental illness struggles as just hilarious. It's a joke. They zero support for anything. Just, oh, you're crazy. She's so weird. Things like that you guys have probably heard of too. If you're going down a similar path that I am. Well, I wanted to brag about my completion of the request for ADHD medicine. I think that's going to make a huge difference in my life because I spend probably 24 hours a day getting 20 minutes worth of work done. And I have, I'm going to school right now and I still have kids, even though they're in their 30s, they still need me to do stuff all the time. And I have the grandkids and, I got to do my homework all day and study. And there's a lot of stuff that I have to get done where I don't have time to just sit here and just wallow in the mess in it anymore. But it was 2003. That's when I got sober. I was a raging alcoholic and I had a seizure in the car. And then after that, because I prayed, I asked God, I said, can you please just take this addiction away from me? I can't do it. I was miserable and everybody was miserable around me. And like the next couple of days, I had a seizure in the car, which I had all the time anyway. But this one, I had a seizure and then I went home and I stayed in bed for a couple of weeks. I was really sick and I couldn't really do anything, but I had this unquenchable thirst to take the Bible that I had to just read and read and read and read. And I read everything. And I never wanted to go back to the alcohol or the cigarettes or anything after that. So that's helped a lot to, help me get back onto the path and do what God's going to want me to do in life, because I know that he's going to use my testimony to help me reach down into people that have struggled bad like I have too, to help pull them back up and let people realize that, there's a different life out there. Just because, we don't understand everything about it, we can learn and then make ourselves stronger. And that's all I want to do, is just let people know that you don't have to stay in that war zone that isn't your mind all the time with this. So I'm going to go and get my homework done. I just wanted to brag about me getting up and do something, getting my medicine I needed. Thank you. Have a good day.